stand, we join together and sing in the arati. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Om Jaya Ganapati Deva, Prabhu Jai Ganapati Deva, Begana Vinashana Swami, Begana Vinashana Swami, Sukha Sampati Deva, Om Jai Parvati Putra Kahavo, Shankar Sutta Swami, Prabhu Shankar Sutta Swami, Gajananda Gananayak, Gajananda Gananayak, Bhaktanayanugami, Om Jai Redhi Sedhi Ke Malik, Moshakaya Savari, Prabhu Moshakaya Savari, Kar Jore Vinati Kare, Kar Jore Vinati Kare, Ananda Yusavari, Om Jai Ganapati Deva, Prathama Aapko Pujat, Shubha Mangala Data, Prabhu Shubha Mangala Data, Siddhi Hoye Sab Karaj, Siddhi Hoye Sab Karaj, Daridra Hata Jata, Om Jai Sunda Sundala Dunda Dundala Mastaka Parachanda Prabhu Mastaka Parachanda Karaja Siddh Karavo Karaja Siddh Karavo Kato Sab Panda Om Jai Ganapati Deva Ganapati Ji Ki Arati Jo Koi Nar Gave Prabhu Jo Koi Nar Gave Daruka Kahabhavati Daruka Kahabhavati Nishadina Sukha Pave Om Jai Ganapati Ji Ki Arati Jo Koi Nar Gave Prabhu Jo Koi Nar Gave Daruka Kahabhavati Daruka Kahabhavati Nishadina Sukha Pave Om Jai Ganapati Deva Jaya Ganapati Deva Prabhu Jaya Ganapati Deva Bigana Vinashana Swami Bigana Vinashana Swami Sukha Sampati Deva Om Jai Ganapati Deva Om Jaya Ganapati Deva Om Jai Ganapati Deva Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhushta Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvang Mam Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Bolo Shri Ganesh Bhagavan ki jai. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. Jagat Janani Shri Durga Mata ki. Bolo Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Devotees, you may kindly take your seats. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Narayanang Namaskrityang Naramachaiva Narutamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Devotees, once again we all gathered here tonight to worship the Supreme Brahman in the form of Shri Ganesh. Before I commence reciting the Katha, we'd ask each and everyone to try to picture that beautiful form of Lord Ganesh in your mind as we chant these verses which are dedicated to his worship. Om Asumukashtai Kadantashta Kapilo Gajakaranaka Lambodara Shabikato Bigananasho Binayaka Dumraketur Ganajaksho Bhalachandro Gajanana Dwadashaitani Namani Yapate Trinno Yadapi Vidyarambe Vivahi Praveshe Niragami Tata Sangrami Sankati Chaiva Viganata Sanajayate Shuklam Vararamadevam Shashivaranam Jaturbujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayit Sarva Vigno Pashantaye Abhipsitartha Siddhyartha Pujito Yasura Surai Sarva Viganaratasmai Ganadi Pataye Nama Shivatanai Varishtama Sarva Kalyana Murati Parashu Kamalahastamma Shobitam Modakinaha Arun Kosumamala Vyala Yagyopavitam Mama Hriday Nivasam Shri Ganesham Namami Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Sudaya Mama Prabha Aviganam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Beganeshwarai Varadai Surapriyaya Lambodarai Sakalai Jagadvitai Nagananai Shruti Yagya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutai Gananat Namo Namaste Bhaktarti Nashana Parayai Ganeshwaraya Saraveshwarai Shubhadai Sureshwarai Vidyadarai Vikatai Chavamanaya Bhakta Prasanvaradai Namo Namaste Namaste Brahma Rupaya Vishnu Rupaya Te Namah Namaste Rudra Rupaya Kari Rupaya Te Namah Lambodharanamatubyam Satatam Modaka Priya Niraviganam Kuru Medeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Avahanam Najanami Tavarchanam Pujamachaiva Najanami Kshamasveti Ganeshwara. Bolo Shri Ganesh Bhagavan ki jai. Before we begin tonight, let us join in the chanting of the Ganesh Stotram. Yato Nanta Shaktirananta Jiva Yato Niragunada Prameyad Gunasti Yato Bhati Sarva Trida Veda Binnam Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yatashvasi Rajit Jagata Sarva Vitus Tatabjasano Vishwagopta Tatendra Dayo Daitya Sannaga Manushya Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Vannahi Banu Bhavur Bhujalancha Yata Sagarash Chandrama Vyoma Vayu Yata Hastavara Jangama Vriksha Sangha Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama yato danava kinnara yaksha sannagra yatascharana varana shwapadashta yatapakshikita yato viragashta sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama yato bodhira jnananasho mumuksho yate sampado bhakta santosha kasyo yato vignanasho yakarya siddhi sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama yata yatra putra sampado vanchitarto yato bhakti vidyas tatani karupa yata shoka moha yata kama eva sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama yato nanta shakti sakti shobha bhova dharadharani nekarupo cha shakta yato nekada swarga loka hinana sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama yato vedacho vikunnata manobi sadanitine tititayam grananti parabrahma rupam chedananda bhutam sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama yato nanda shaktirananda jiva yato nirgunad prameyad gunasti yato bhati sarva trida veda binnam sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama. Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavan ki jai. Those who were present last night, we had stopped where Lord Ganesh, in explaining to Raja Varenya that through Gyan, karma will come. And through karma, meditation will come. And through meditation, devotion is going to come. And in the end, you are going to merge into me. Lord Ganesh says, Idrisham dvidite tatvam madagate nantaratmana yajagyatva mama sandegam vetise moksha sarvagam. Whatever I explain to you, put your mind on it. Think about it. And eventually you will realize that when you know me, when you realize me, that's mine. When you realize me that I am the Lord of everything. Maya sakta mana partha yoga mayan janmadashraya asanshayam samagrama mama yata gyasyati chatrano. When you practice this yoga, this discipline, you will depend upon me. And dependent upon me, asanshayam samagrama mama, without entertaining any doubt in your mind, yatagyasi yatatranu, that universal soul, you would recognize it. Tatateham shanuvakshami lokanam hitakamyaya astigeyam tato nanyan muktosha sadhanam nripaha. That, you know, when COVID came out, everybody had doubts about whether COVID really exists. And then, if the vaccine really going to work. And somebody somewhere in the world coined a phrase, trust the science. That is what the Gita says. Tatoham shranuvakshami. Trust the science. Put your faith in it. Understand everything. Lokanam hitakamyaya. Understand everything that I have explained to you. That astigeyam yato nanyan. And when you know them, when you understand them, you liberate yourself from the cycle of birth and death. Mokshashta sadhanam nipaha. And once you understand this, you will not do anything else. You will stick to what you know. And that will liberate you. Jnanamate hamasa vijnanam midamavaksham yasheshata. Yajagyatva negha bhutan yaj gyatavyam avasheshyate. This knowledge that you seek, O king, I would reveal this knowledge to you. And when I reveal this knowledge to you, you would realize for yourself, gyatavyam avasheshyate. There is nothing else you need to know. If you find God, you really need to go and find out how to find God again. You already find that. A man who passed through primary school, he don't go back in primary school. You already passed that. And I saw half of the educated people today, if they write that common entrance that the Guardian is having it, half of them go fail common entrance. That ain't easy for a child to go through. That's a penance by itself. Geyamat prakriti puravam tatasya jnaname chara tato vijnana sanparati mayi jyate nrinam bhavet. It is your birthright to understand where you came from. That's your birthright. It is your birthright to know why you came here. It is your birthright to know that when you depart from here, where you're going. Those are things you should find out. When you're dead, you can't find out that. You have to find out that while you're alive. And once you begin the search, tato vijnana sanparati, the science of what you need to know would reveal itself to you. And after that, O king, mayi jnane nripa bhavet, everything will be at your disposal. Once you begin the search. Manushyanam sahasreshu kakshiratatati yasedyate yatatam api yasedanam kachinamam veti tatvataha. Thousands of people. One of the largest religious celebrations in the world is called Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti falls on the 14th of January for a month. And that is so big that it is celebrated in 3 different places. In Prayag, Allahabad, in a place called Nasik, and there's another place where they celebrate it. Every year, each one hosts it. But at the end of the 100 years, they all come to one place, and that is called the Mahakumbha Mela. NASA satellite from space picked up that crowd. And they have documented it. It is the largest gathering of people in the world. In the world. There's no crowd bigger than that. Nobody has been able to put an actual figure to it. But the space image is telling them it is the largest gathering in the world. So, of the thousands of people who strive to realize me, yatatam api siddhanam, one might get through. Might. Kakshinamam veti tatvataha. But only through pure devotion, that one person who is truly devoted to me, going to realize me without any strain, without any stress, without any pressure. I'll give you a good example of that. When Matang Rishi was in the forest, and they were singing the glories of Ram, there was a woman living in that ashram. The woman had no name. I don't know what fool you and tell you the lady name was Shabari. Shabari is not a person name. Shabari is the name of a tribe. She was a Shabari, a tribal woman. She had no name. Nobody knew she name. Even the Ramayana mentions no name. And she was so fascinated by what Matang Rishi was saying that she says when the monsoon finished and he was going, she said, I want to go with you. To do what? To find God. He said, you don't have to go and look for God. God will come looking for you. You stay right here. She believed that. She believed that. And she dedicated her entire life waiting for that day. Kakshinamam veti tatvataha. With that devotion, Ram did come to meet her. So your selfless devotion is what is going to take you over. Kwana lauka mahamakara kanachitam dhi sadharinau ravindo yoga krichanaka dashada prakritir mama. Earth, fire, space, things that we use to perform hawan, the senses, all these things, the sun, the moon, rituals, these 11 things are created by me. Every human being should understand these things. What is the purpose of the earth? You do not desecrate the earth. You do not desecrate fire. Hawan, you do not desecrate. Your senses, you should not desecrate. Antam ta prakritim abreda manoya sangiranti cha tatatri veshtapan vyaptam jivatvam gattayanayaha. Bridha. Bridha means old. The old rishis and the old munis, they have explained this to people because they have tested it and it worked. And then they start to teach this. Munaya sangiranti chaha. They have narrated it. What they have narrated? Taratri vishtatam vyaptam. That the soul comes upon this earth in a body. Jivatvam gatayanayaha. And when that soul leaves the body, it travels into what is called the celestial realms. This misconception that people have, that when you're dead, you either go heaven or you go hell. In Sanatana Dharma, there is no word for heaven. It have no word that means heaven. And if it have no heaven, it have no hell. Right? It have what is called a place of judgment. When you finish here and you go, they judge you for all what you have done, and then they send you where they had to send you. It's not heaven and it's not hell. One is called Narak, which is the lower regions. It's not one it have plenty. And they have Swargalok, celestial regions. They don't have one, they have many too. Abhyamutpadyatam characharamayam jagat sangadvishvasaya sanabhuti paritranam layopyaham. And through this cycle, this continuous journey, that is how life comes into the world, then it leaves the world, it goes back into the unmanifest, and then it comes back into the world, and it goes back into the unmanifest until it realizes the Supreme. However long that will take. Nobody knows. Nobody could answer that question. It says that in this age that we live in is the best age to do it. And the reason that is given is that all the good that you have done in your lifetime, you are going to be rewarded for the good. All the wrong things that you think about doing, you will not be punished for it. That is the reason why. So you could think evil, just don't implement it. You understand? Once you don't implement it, you're safe. They don't check that. And that is why the scriptures say, this is the easiest age to do it. It says, Sangadvishvasya sanbhavati. People who have tested the science of finding God, they realize that I am the one, paritranam labhavipyaham, who creates the universe, who sustains the universe, and who dissolves the universe. Etadyoniti bhutani sarvanityopadharaya aham kritnasya jagata prabhava pralayasthatha. All life form in this world, every life form, comes into this world because of Prakriti, nature. And when they come as a result of nature, they know from very early that I am the source of every life. And in the end, prabhava pralayasthatha, everything is going to dissolve into me. They know that. Sorry. And if everybody knows that, then what went wrong? What went wrong? Maya went wrong. You get caught up in the material world. And when you get caught up in the material world, it's hard to come back on track. So you have to go back and go through this whole thing again, over and over, over and over. Tattvame tannavo dummata yatatoka shiradevahi varanashram vatamapunsa paramachirane nakaramanaha. The easiest people to realize God is the householder. Them is the easiest people to realize God. They know about this creation. And all the good karma, all the good actions that they have done in the past is what brings them here. And that good karma, even thousands amongst them, one will truly make the effort to realize God. And all the scriptures have said the same thing. In every family, all you need is one person to be a devotee of God. And he will handle everybody else. One person. But that one, he ain't going to fall from the sky. You understand? But again, because of the Maya, because of the illusion, there's always controversy in the house. Always going to have that. So people will hate their own. So in that situation, one is born. Take Hiranyakashipu. That man kill his own family. Want to kill his own son too. And it's the son who liberate him. Prahalad. You understand? One born in that home. Manushyanam sahasreshu kakshidadati yasiddaye yatatam api yasiddanam kakshinamam vetiti tatvataha. Amongst thousands, O king, one will strive to realize me. And that one who strives to realize me, kakshinamam vetiti tatvataha, such a soul is very rare in the world. Very, very rare that has happened. Sakshat kadoti kakshinachad yatnava swapiteshu cha matatonya nakshetre kim chenamayi saravavikshate. And the one who realizes the Supreme Brahman will see nothing else in the world except the Supreme Brahman. They see God in everything. Their whole life is totally different. And they see the entire universe within themselves. Matata parataramananyat kakshinadasti dhananjaya mayi saravani midamaprotam sotre manigana yivaha. And then you realize that there is nothing in this world that's really important. Nothing is important. Right? A lot of people believe if you don't work, you won't get food to eat, you won't have this, you won't have that. So before you started to work, we was getting food every day. Somebody was providing it. Chapter 9 in the Gita very clear on that. I am the one who provides the needs of my devotees, not their wants. What you want, you're not going to get. What you need, God will give you. It doesn't mean you should just be lackadaisical. No, if you can't protect your body, you go protect the soul. This body is given to you for a period of time. Right? Just like your heart. Some people believe that the heart will stop beating. But the doctors never tell you. The heart has an expiry date. Everybody's heart has an expiry date. And the day that they reach, that's it. Everything else could be good. Your kidney could be functioning very good. Your lungs could be functioning very good. All the organs could be working good. But the heart have an expiry date. So when he expires, that's it. You see that Supreme Lord in everything. Matata paratada mananyat kingshiradaasti dhananjaya mayi saravani midam aprotam sotre manigana ivaha. Every life form that exists in this world has some connection. Every life is connected somehow. Just as you take beads and you string it together. Every bead different. The size of every bead is different. The shape is different. The color is different. But yet they are held together by this string. Lord Ganesh says, I am that string that holds every life together. Whereas, Mai Saravani Midama Protam, I do not depend on them. Sotre Managana Ivaha, they depend on me. It's the other way around. God don't need us. I tell people that. What do you think you could give God? You could give him what he have, and he owns everything. So there's nothing you could give to God. But we all depend upon that Supreme Lord. Chetausu Gandarupena Tejarupena Chagnisho Prabharupena Poshabjo Rasarupena Chapsuchaha. The fragrance that comes from the earth, when them fellas, well, they do use brushing cutters again. Everything is a waka now. When you cut in grass first thing in the morning, that scent that you get from that grass, you don't get it at no other time in the day except that time. When you light fire and it begins to glow, that glow which comes from the fire. Prabhadupena pushpabjo, that brightness which comes from the sun and the moon. And that taste that comes from water, I exist in these things. This is my way of getting into the life of individuals. You could live without food. You don't need food to live. There's only two things you need to live: water and sleep. If you don't sleep, you're going to dead. And if you don't drink water, just like a motor car engine, it can mash up everything. All the organs will mash up. If you don't put water in it, not tea, not coffee, not sweet drink, not anything else. You understand? Water. Water is life. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayo pranava sarava vedeshu shabdake paurusham nishaho. Rasoham apsu kaunteya, the taste of that water, the brilliance of the sun and the moon, I am that. Pranava sarava vedeshu, I am pranava. Pranava means Om. No mantra is a mantra without Om. No mantra. Not one. Sarva vedeshu, I am all the Vedas. Ke paurusham nishu, I am that sound that exists in space. You ever walk offshore yet? You ever go to a rig and spend a night yet? That's frightening, you know. Don't nobody fool you, you know. It's scary because you just hear things that don't exist. And if your constitution is built strong, it could cripple you. It could destroy you. There's so much of mysterious things outside there that the human mind will never comprehend. He could never understand it. So he says that sound which exists between earth and space, that sound I am that sound. Paurusham Nishu. Paurusham, humanity. Nishu means the strength that exists in humans. I am that strength. Detapo balinam chaham, destapo balameva cha, trivideshu vikareshu, madutpananeshwaham stitaha. Those yogis who have become so strong and so intelligent, I exist in them. Because they use that knowledge and they use that strength to propagate my name. They don't use it to abuse people. The human being was created with 3 different types of defects. All of us born with a manufacturer defect. Every single one of us. You have sickness of the mind. That is a defect. You have sickness of the body. That is a defect. And you have a sickness in your mouth. You say the wrong thing. Everybody born with it. Trust me, you could say something stupid one day. I have a knack for doing that. I will just trip you off. He says, I am the one, O king. Madut pananesh vaham stitaha. I am the one that gives life stability. Or it will be total chaos in this world. Bejamamam sarva bhutanam vide partha sanatanam buddhira buddhi matamasmi tejasa tejasvinamaham. Bejamamam sarva bhutanam. I am that seed that exists in all life. I am the life-giving seed. Vidi partha sanatanam. And that seed, O king, is sanatan. It is eternal. That seed has no beginning. It has no end. It's an eternal seed. Buddhira buddhi matamasmi. I am the knowledge. I am the intelligence. Tejas tejasvinamaham. And I am the glory of those who have become glorious. Namam vindati papi yanamaya mohita chetana trivikara mohayati prakritir me jagatrayam. But when the discussion took place upstairs and everybody started to pressure God, we want to go down on earth. We want to go down on earth. He said, be careful what you wish for. We want to go down on earth. You're preventing me from going. We're preventing me from going. He said, I'm not preventing you from going, you know. I have no desire to prevent you from going. But the things that exist in the world will prevent you from coming back. And what is that called? Maimam vindati papi. It is called the great illusion. You have that real bad, eh? You know that? Tell me if you agree with me. Yeah, you. You want me to call your name, man? You have it bad. I'll tell you why. You had 2 old car in the back there that you wouldn't get rid of. Not for hell you wouldn't get rid of it. Were you keeping it for it and working? It working? Is Shama working? Well, boy, I apologize to you. But you could only drive 1 vehicle. Get rid of them thing now, man. Them thing only park up there and occupying space. You know, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. The magician calls it the optical illusion. You understand? You see things that doesn't exist. That optical illusion, that is what's going to prevent you from coming back. And that is why I am scared to send you down there. And if you get over the illusion, then you have papi. You have sins that you're going to commit. And if you overcome the sins, yana maya, then you have the maya. One of them 3 go pull you back, if not all 3. So that is why I do not want to send you. that the mind becomes a wandering soul. Not the soul, the mind becomes a wandering soul. And then you cannot recognize God. And because you cannot recognize God, Trivid Dakara Moha Yati, the gunas, through the gunas, the good, bad, and evil, rather than suppress them, you allow them to run crazy. Man, is that child, he do what he want, man. Really? And when he don't do what he want, and he turn on you. Right? You know, some people, when they put a baby on a bed to lie down, right? And you go on the bed by the baby, and the baby kick you up the foot. And just kick you. That's the time to hit them. Because you feel when a baby kick you, that is fun. Right? Boy, you getting strong, boy, your foot strong. When he get big and he kick you now, he need makaram. You understand? He's doing that his whole life. But at one point it's fun. When it goes beyond the fun, what happens? That's the time to correct them. But you allow it, mohayati, to run crazy. The gunas, you allow it to run crazy. Prakriti ka jagatrayam. Natya takes over. And when Natya takes over, you become jagatrayam. You become lost in this world. Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasastama shashyaye matata eveti tanavidya natvam teshu nate mai. Every life evolves around the gunas, good, bad, and evil. Every life evolves around that. But if you cannot control it, and it runs astray, I say to you, Matata Evi Tanavidhi, I do not exist in them. And they do not exist in me. I forsake them. And they forsake me, I forsake them. Maye tattamidam sarava jagadavyataha murtina matastani sarava bhutani nachahamate shavastitaha. Even though I am the creator of the universe, not everything that I create I exist in. I don't exist in everything, nor does everything exist in me. Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram bhuta brinanja bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavana. Look at this wonderful creation. People who travel and go abroad, when they see this water from the Niagara Falls coming down, one of the most beautiful things to see early in the morning when the sun rises, because you'll get the rainbow, real beauty. Where that water coming from? Eh? Up to now, they still can't figure out where that water coming from. Nobody knows. They don't know when it started, and they don't know when it go finish. Forget Canada. Go right Labrina, man, the Pitch Lake. How long they dig in Pitch Lake now? 1,000 years now. Since 14 something. They dig in Pitch Lake and they still can't finish. And you're not surprised that it have something marvelous like that in the world? So people who look at this wonderful creation and they do not believe in my existence, Bhuta Brinanja Bhutasto, they don't exist in me, Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana, and I do not exist in them. Yo me tatvam viranati mohamatva jati sokilam aneke janama vishtaiva gyatva mamutyate tataha. Give up all the material things that you have. Give it up. Nobody never carried with them yet. Nobody. I do enough funeral to know that when they're carrying you down the road, your hand will be empty. I've been very lucky so far. I see people thumbprint, ink on people thumbprint already. I see that already. I mean, I won't call no name, but I see that already. You just turn a blind eye. And when you're reading one of the nights in the 10th night, the truth will come out. When one fella show up with the will, you know how he get it. You understand? I see that happen already. I see that happen already. So give up the material things. If you can't give it up, somebody will take it from you. That is the nature of material. And if you could give up the material things, aneka janma bishtaiva, because these things that you cannot give up in this life, you come back here for many births for the same thing over and over and over and over. You're spinning top in mud, you're going nowhere. Gyatva muchyate tataha. And by knowing me, the material things will not affect you. And in the end of that lifespan, you will merge into me. Daiva heshi gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva me prapadyante maya me tattarantite. This maya that exists in this world is created by me to prevent fools from coming by me. If you cannot cross the maya, what sacrifice you're willing to make to find God? What do you think? Ball in Bhaja Govindam go make you find God? Go ahead now, try. See how good he is. Your heart ever skip a beat that you know? When your heart skip a beat, you don't call God's name, you know. Fright does enter inside of you. So you could chant God's name how much you want. When fright comes, you're studying God again, you know. You forget He long time. So this is why Sanatana Dharma says, it is difficult to cross this. The ones who cross this, mameva ye prapadyante, those who devote themselves to the worship of God, only maya me tarantite, only those people will cross this. Nobody else. Anyanana vida devan bhajante tan bravantite yatha yata matema kritva bhajate mam jano kilaha. And there are many ways to worship. Everybody develop your own thing. You understand? There are people who will do puja and won't put up a jandi. Nothing wrong with that. There are people who will do puja and put the jandi in a, well, I call it a pigtail bucket. But it's not a pigtail bucket, it's a paint bucket, the 5-gallon paint bucket. And they're happy with that. Then you are the fella go look for the biggest bamboo in the patch. And he go cut it down. Right? Different ways. All is the same thing. People worship different devatas. Whoever you worship, I accept them. Although they worship yata matimakritva, worshiping the different names and the different forms of God, you're worshiping me still. But just you cannot understand that. So your understanding will only carry you so far. Bhajate imam jano kilaha. In reality, they worship me. Kamaste ste hritagyana prapadyanyena devata tamatama niyamamasthaya prakritya vitaya swaya. Because of their own nature. Explain this to you. People choose to change their religion. Like because they're stupid. That's the only explanation for changing your religion. You're stupid. There's no other explanation for it. Wherever you're born, you stay right here. Changing your religion, you change your DNA. Nah? Go change your DNA. Only foolish people do that. And they make a dumb excuse. Hinduism had too much rituals. Let me give you a classic. Christianity, one of the first things you do when a person dies in Christianity is shave your head. You have to shave your head. But they skip it out. In Islam, if you follow Islam, one of the criteria, people say they go Mecca and they come back as a Haji. My foot. If you go to Mecca and you come back with all your hair on your head, you'll never reach the Kaaba. Because to reach the Kaaba, you have to shave your head. Let nobody fool you. Shaving the head is for every religion. You understand? But you don't want to practice Hinduism because it's too much a burden. What burden it have in Hinduism, eh? Hinduism is the only religion, if you want to call it a religion, could take an open piece of land and convert it into the most divine shrine that exists. Overnight. And when you finish the yag, it becomes ordinary land again. We're the only people who could do that. Nobody else could do it. Not a single religion has ever done it yet. We are the only people who could do it. Because what Sanatan Dharam does, it brings people together. Once you convert, you're going to mash up that family. They're going to mash up. I know people die and their own children won't take part. Where's Siraj? And that happened in your family recently? And they'll know who it is. The fellow in Golconda, friendship, they will die. So stupid that the son tell him, he said, Dad, I want to renovate the house and build it. But the bank ain't going to give me a loan because the house on your name. And he went and put it on his son's name. That was the end of he. Son living downstairs, he changed his religion. Daughter living upstairs, she's Hindu. Man dead, son say he ain't taking no part in that funeral because he's a Hindu. That happened less than 2 months ago. He never even went to the funeral. The man who gave him the house he living in, he never went. Daughter fly down from Miami for the funeral. By the time they light the fire, she fly back to the airport one time. Get out of this place. It's madness. You understand? You bring corruption. Corruption comes from your own nature. Nobody will convince you. Prakriti, your own nature does that to you. And when you become prompted by your nature, what happens to you? Tam tam niyamamastaya. You lose your senses. You lose your knowledge. You lose your wisdom. Tata tathasya tamabhavam purayam yahamevatam ahamasaravam viranami mana kakshidati buddhyate. However you choose to worship God, I am the one who you are worshiping. I am the one who knows every single thing. Ahamasarva bigyanami, I know everything. But mana kaksheda buddhaye, but people do not know me. People do not know me. Yo yo yam yam tanuma bhakta sharaya cheto yame chati tasya tasya chalama shraddha tameva vididam yaham. Whatever form you choose to worship me, I am the one going to stabilize your faith, stabilize your devotion. Nobody else could do that. I will do that. Even if you pray to God by a different name, nothing wrong with that. It had to come to me first. And when it comes to me, then you will get the reward. If it doesn't reach me, you won't get nothing. And let me tell you something. The most frightening thing could happen to you in a puja is when the Baba tell you, now is the time to ask God for what you want. Boy, don't go down that road. Don't make that mistake. Don't let no pundit set you up. Don't ask nothing. If you say God knows everything, what are you asking him for? You understand? When I was in the nursing home, God didn't know I was sick. I had to call him and tell him I was sick. Then hear God. You understand? Never make that mistake. God knows everything. You don't need to remind God of that. Avyaktam avyaktimapanana navidu kama mohita naham prakashatamayami ajnanam papa karmanam. I am the one who has what is called the Gupta Roop. The Gupta Roop is a secret form. That secret form, because of the desires that exist in people, they will not see that form. I do not exist. Naham prakashatam yami ajnanam papa karmanam. I do not present myself in the minds of ignorant people, nor sinners. God cannot be in the heart of a person who could take up a cutlass and chop up a child. God could never be in him. Me care what you say. And this stupidness priests tell people in them kind of funeral, God, you have to forgive them. Really? Really? Let the same criminal go in the priest's house now. and see if he go forgive him. You could forgive for everybody else's own, but you can't forgive for your own. You understand? Once you jump my gate after 6 in the evening, I had an uncle who had a gun, big gun. 97 years. You had to go in the station every year and renew this thing. So when he gone in the police station, the policeman tell him, he said, but uncle, this gun, you never shoot this gun for years. Why you don't give it up? You could see to shoot at all. You know what my uncle tell him? You climb my gate after 6 in the evening and you go see. Nah? Let me test it. If I miss, you're lucky. But if I miss, you understand? Ignorant people, sinners, I don't check them at all. Naham prakasha saravasya yogomaya samabrita muro yamna bijanati lokamajabhyanabhyayam. Because of this maya, I do not manifest myself to everybody. Ignorant and foolish people will not recognize me because I am the one, the birthless and the imperishable one. Yasmitva tajate prana manate ma shradanvitaha sayatya punarabrittim prasada mama babu bajo. When the appointed time comes, because of the disciplined life you have lived, it's easy to transition from birth to death. It's easy to do it if you live a good life. If you all live a good life, it's not an easy transition. It could be very scary. You sit peacefully when that time comes. Meditate upon me. Sayatya punarabrittim. Through my blessings, prasadamam labhu bhuja. Because of my grace, because of my blessings, you will discard this body. And discarding this body, O Rajavarenya, you merge into me. Yama yama deva smarana bhatya tajate swam kalevaram tatatatsana lokmayati tarabhatya naradipaha. With pure devotion, if you worship the devatas, when you think about the devata, when the appointed time comes, and you depart from this world, you will go to the devata. You are going nowhere else. Yam yam vapi smarana bhavam tajantyana yakalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sadatara bhava bhavitaha. Whatever you think about at the time of death, that is what you are going to attain. So if you're kicking, screaming, and bawling, what think will happen to you when you leave here? Whatever your thought is, that is what you will achieve. And this is why Sanatana Dharma says to people, when you go to sleep in the night, say your prayers before you sleep. Because you mightn't make up. And if you wake up in the morning, say your prayers and thank God you wake up. When you sit down to eat, hey, you could choke on that roti and dead. Even though you're in a puja, you could still choke on the roti and dead. Thank God for the food in front of you. Say your prayers. Be grateful. When you leave here, anywhere you leave and you're walking, going home, a car could knock you down and kill you. Say your prayer. You understand? Say your prayers because you don't know. None of us do when that appointed time is going to come. None of us know that. Atashcharahi nasan bhupa smaratavyo karapavana saraveshanamapgamya stotasa maranaye yataha. I say to you, O King, there are many different forms of mind. If you really, people who computer smart and they go on the internet, you could find forms of Ganesh that will fascinate you. There are so many different forms. You think about one. You can't think about all. Think about one. Think about the one that attracts you the most. That is the form you hold on to. And it is that form, Saraveshamapyaham gamya, that is the form I will use to appear to you in, the form that you are accustomed with. In the same way, O king, as all rivers flow into the ocean, never to come back, in the same way, singing my praises, they will all merge into me, never to come back. Brahma Vishnu Shivendralam Lokana Prapya Punapate Yomamu Petya Sanadigda Patanamatasya Naklutitaha. By worshipping Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, and all the devatas, you journey to the abode. That is where you're going. All the good that you have done, you will reap the fruits for all the good you have done. And then, Yoma Mupaitya Sandigda, you will come back into this world of birth and death with a firm mind, with a firm determination. Worship me. Know me to be that Lord who exists here, there, and everywhere. When you realize me as such, and you merge into me, you do not come back into the cycle of birth and death. How one by? Yanti deva brata devan pitriyanti pitri brata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhya jinopimam. Those who worship the devatas will go to the devata. Those who worship the ancestors will go to the ancestors. Those who worship evil will become evil. And those who worship me, in the end, they merge into me. Ananya Sharano Yomam Bhaktya Bhajati Bhumipa Yogaksheme Patasayaham Saravada Pratipadayet. I say to you, O king, those who surrender to me with pure devotion, singing my praises, I will always bring happiness to them. For this is the method that people should adopt in worshiping me. To be happy when you worship. When you sit down to eat with people, be happy with them. You don't have to know them. Be happy. Vivida gatiru drishta shukla krishna ninam nipaha ekaya paramama brahma parayayati na sanstrime. O king, every single month is divided into two parts. One is called the Shukla Paksh, one is called the Krishna Paksh, the bright half and the dark half. And there is a difference between the two. Ekaya Paramam Brahma. In one half of the month, if you depart at the right time, you do not come back in this world. And the other half, Parayayati Yatsam Sritime, if you die in the other half, you come back into this world. In the Bhagavad Gita it says that for that 6 months when the sun is in the north, when you die, you don't come back. In the 6 months when the sun is in the south, if you die then, you come back. The Ganesh does fall in the south. Pitri Paksh fall in the south. So people have this misconception when Pitri Paksh come, if you die, you go straight to heaven because heaven open. You well believe that. Picks up. Our uncle tell me one day he'll wait till Pitri Paksh to dead. And if he can't die in Pitri Paksh, he go kill himself. You know when he dead? January. He miss it. He miss it by plenty. It don't work so. It comes down to your faith. It comes down to your belief. You could die when the sun is in the south and still get liberation. But if you think about God at that time, when the time comes, you become liberated. If you do not think about God, even when the sun in the north, if you're not thinking about God, you'll get liberation? No, you wouldn't. So, Vivida Gati Arodeshta Shukla Krishna Ninam Nipaha Ekaya Paramam Brahma Pariyayati Na Sansrite. In this way, my responsibility is to liberate all life form from the cycle of birth and death. Bolo Shri Ganesh and Bhagavani ki jai. We will stop there for tonight. And last night I promised you, I want to read an article for you. This is one of the most frightening things I ever read. This is from Caribbean Best. Caribbean Best, September, October 2023. Free. Read the book that have any plane. All right. This way it say. The writer is saying, my curiosity, I'm skipping out pieces there. My curiosity about the observance turn festival naturally led me to Suchitra's temple in Pinal, where I am told it all started. Ganesh Utsav is a term used to describe the festivities associated with Ganesh Chaturthi, which are all dedicated to Ganesh, the elephant-headed god. And according to oral accounts, a famine in the early 1900s led to the first observances of Ganesh Utsav at Suchitra's. So let me say according to this, 1900 to 1910, somewhere between there it started, right? According to this. One of the holy men of the village, I would love to know who was the holy man in Suchitra's, because Suchitra's had no holy man. It had none. The man who claimed to be the most holy man in Suchitra's, ganja kill he. He smoked himself to death. One of the holy men of the village advised that Ganesh Yagya, an event defined by ritual and fasting, and the submersion of a murti, were necessary to end the famine. So they do it. But the festival continued, with the Visarjan mainly taking place in these southern temples in Trinidad. And this year, Suchitra's Mandir celebrates 180 years of Ganesh Utsav. See, you have your phone on you? Where are you? You have your phone on you? Punching 2023 minus 180. $2023 minus 180. 1843. So according to this book, Suchitra is celebrating Ganesh Utsav since 1843, according to this book. Right? But we come here in 1845. So Suchitra is celebrating Ganesh Yag since before we come Trinidad. Very interesting. And the writer says the first time in her life she ever eat urdi bara. If she should go by she grandmother when she grandmother had prayers, she'd eat urdi bara. She studied in India, never eat a urdi bara. This idiot. Today she's a sitting senator in the government. A sitting senator. I won't call she name. I won't give she that privilege. But I always thought she was stupid. You understand? When you write this stupidness in a book and put it on a plane and send it worldwide, people are going to laugh at us. You understand? When I say that, they say criticizing. Criticizing what? That you're stupid? I don't want to criticize that. She teaches in one of the best colleges in South Trinidad. She's a very acclaimed musician. Very acclaimed. But she says Suchitra is celebrating Ganesha since 1843. But we come from India in 1845, not 1843. You have it wrong. You have it wrong. And anybody who wants to see it, I want you to take a look at the Hawan they was doing. They light a fire on the ground, and people stand up and doing this Hawan, and they throw in laddu all over the place. Look at the picture here, it's very clear. Take a look and see. Come on, look, take it and take a look at it now, man. Dai the Hawan for them. They're throwing it like you're burning rubbish. And that is what we're spreading worldwide for Sanatan Dharma. You understand? Now, what the girl go tell me? is a typographical error. Hey, don't blame the typist. The typist type where you write. You said 180 years. 180 years from 2023 minus is 1843, not 1845. And Suchitrace was not celebrating Ganesh Yagya in 1845. You ask anybody from Suchitrace who was the first man to build a Ganesh Murti in Trinidad, they don't even know the man's name. I know the name. I interviewed the man's family already, and he carried me back real far. The man who made the first Murti is a man named Raghunath. And the yag never take place by nobody. The yag used to take place house to house. They do one night here, tomorrow they do one. That's how they used to do it. Until they come up with this brilliant idea that they go build a mandir and they go do it in the mandir. And then Chandrika Pandit started it for a long, long, long time. After Chandrika Pandit, they had Prem. After Prem dead and gone, where they get, they take. Any Pandit they get, they take. You understand what I mean? But those were the two men who carried it for a very long time. When I was doing Ganesha in Woodland, Chandrika had now died. Prem was doing it in Suchitrace. So we should be competing going on the road together. Until he dead and I still doing it. So that is it. Suchitrace is really the first place to start it. That is without a doubt. But don't mislead people and say that 1843 Ole was doing it. It had no yag in 1843, my friend. We wasn't even on the Calcutta ship coming. We didn't make up our mind to come down here yet. So if you're printing it, get the facts correct. If you print the wrong facts, you're going to get wrong information. Understand? Bolo Shri Ganesh and the Bhagavan ki jai. All will stand as we join together and sing in the arti. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Somebody give me back my page, eh? Om Jaya Ganapati Deva Prabhu Jaya Ganapati Deva Begana Vinashana Swami Begana Vinashana Swami Sukha Sampati Deva Om Jai Ganapati Deva Parvati Putra Kahavo Shankar Sutta Swami Prabhu Shankar Sutta Swami Gajananda Gananayak Gajananda Gananayak Bhaktanayanugami Om Jai Redi Sedi Ke Malika Moshaka Yashavari Prabhu Moshaka Yashavari Kar Jore Vinati Kare Kar Jore Vinati Kare Ananda Yusabari Om Jai Ganapati Deva Prathama Aapko Pujat Shubha Mangala Data Prabhu Shubha Mangala Data Se ho ye sab karaj Se ho ye sab karaj Daridra Hata Jata Om Jai Ganapati Deva Sunda Sundala Dunda Dundala Mastaka Parachanda Prabhu Mastaka Parachanda Karaja Siddha Karavo Karaja Siddha Karavo Kato Sabapanda Om Jai Ganapati Deva Ganapati Ji ki आरती जो कोई नर गावे, प्रभु जो कोई नर गावे, दादु कह भवती, दादु कह भवती, निषदिन सुख पावै। ओम जय गणपति देवा, जय गणपति देवा, प्रभु जय गणपति देवा, विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा, ओम जय गणपति देवा, ओम जय गणपति देवा। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, जगत जननी श्री दुर्गा माता की जय, बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, you may kindly take your seats.